What do you think is the best value Sword and Shield booster box that money can buy today? And no, it's not Evolving Skies. Okay guys, I've gone through and ranked all 12 Pokemon booster boxes from the Sword and Shield era, from worst value for money to best value for money. Obviously, first thing that comes to mind is Evolving Skies has been the best performing set from the Sword and Shield era. The booster box has had the most capital growth, it's got the most expensive chase cards, it's got the most depth. Today's video is a bit different. What I'm looking for is the booster boxes that really haven't taken off yet but have a lot of value inside. And the way I've done that is I've used a formula combining the value of the top 5 chase cards from each set relative to the purchase price of the booster box, and given each set a percentage value and ranked them from 12 to 1, 12 being the worst, 1 being the best. I'm going to go through them all right now. What's going to be number 1 and what's going to be the worst? Let's have a look. Okay guys, getting straight into it. Ranked number 12 on my list as being the worst value for money Sword and Shield booster box is Darkness Ablaze. Now before I get any hate in the comments, I love all the Pokemon booster box sets, and I think given enough time, they will all do well. So if you've got Darkness Ablaze in your collection, no need to get offended. I'm simply going to discuss the value of the chase cards within inside each set relative to the current purchase price for the booster box to try and find good value purchases today for anybody that's looking to collect or invest. So no need to get offended. I also love Darkness Ablaze, but value for money is not the best booster box, it's actually the worst, and I'll show you why. The top 5 chase cards in Darkness Ablaze add up to a grand combined total value of $56. The booster box is $149, call it $150, which means the top 5 chase cards add up to about 38% of the value of the purchase price of the booster box. What does that mean? Let's say you buy the booster box Darkness Ablaze, you're lucky enough to pull all 5 top chase cards. The grand total of those chase cards would be 38% of your purchase price of the booster box. Now we're sealed collectors, so we don't really care too much, right? Well, we still want to know that there's some good juicy nuggets and some hidden value in these sets that we're collecting for investment, because that's what people are going to be chasing in time, and that's what I believe will really push the prices of these booster boxes, and you'll see some of the better value for money ones start jumping over the older ones that are slowly going up in value. So Darkness Ablaze, number 12, worst value for money booster box money can buy today. Sword and Shield, 11th worst value for money booster box at $269, and over the last 6 months this booster box price has actually dropped from almost $290 down to $269. The top 5 chase cards in Sword and Shield base add up to $111, meaning that's 40% of the purchase price of the booster box. Really poor value for the chase cards inside. Here's the top 5 chase cards from Sword and Shield base. Ignore this one in the middle. This one's been put in there by a TCG player by mistake. I'm not calculating that one. But the top 5 chase cards for Sword and Shield base, $111, meaning it's 40% of the value of the booster box price. Not very good value, guys. 10th on my list, Rebel Clash, 10th worst value for money booster box. The top 5 chase cards in Rebel Clash, I'm almost losing myself in the numbers here. $112, identical to Sword and Shield base. But the purchase price of this booster box is $228, a little bit cheaper than Sword and Shield base. Meaning the top 5 chase cards in Sword and Shield base set add up to about 48 to 50% of the value of the price of the booster box. Again, not very good value, guys. The top 5 chase cards are right here. Boss's Orders, $39 being the biggest chase card, followed by that Sonya Full Art Rainbow Rare. Not very many hits in the Rebel Clash booster box, not very good value for money. Again, I think the booster box price will do well and has been doing well over the last couple of years, but I think there's better value booster boxes that you can look at today. Let's close this off. Rebel Clash, see you later. And we're on to Astro Radiance, number 9 on my list. Now this set I actually put in a recent video as a top 10 booster boxes to invest in 2024, and the reason for that is it didn't get a big reprint, and I think it's going to do well over time. But for this specific video, the top 5 chase cards, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but the top 5 chase cards add up to $192. Not too bad, but the purchase price of the booster box is $137, giving Astro Radiance a ranking of 140%. That's to say the top 5 chase cards add up to 140% of the price of the booster box. So we're start getting into some much better value now. However, this is only number 9. This is not in the top 5 yet. So let's keep moving on. There's the top 5 chase cards from Astro Radiance. That Machamp V Full Art being a number 1 at $78. Let's close this off. Vivid Voltage, number 8 on my list. Number 8, Vivid Voltage. Obviously the big chase card in Vivid Voltage is that Rainbow Rare, that big giant Pikachu. But $127 for the Vivid Voltage booster box. The top 5 chase cards in Vivid Voltage add up to a grand total of $184. Now, relative to the price, the purchase price of the booster box, that comes in at 144%. So not much in front of Astro Radiance. These two are pretty close in terms of value for money. But a slight edge. Here's the top 5 chase cards from Vivid Voltage. There's that Pikachu at $99, call it $100. Again, the Vivid Voltage chase cards add up to a grand total of 144% of the purchase price of the booster box, which is again $128, $127 for the booster box. It's not bad value, but ranked at number 8 on my list out of the 12 booster boxes from the Sword and Shield era. Coming in next at number 7, Brilliant Stars, $156 for the booster box. What has this thing done over the last year? It's gone down a little bit. The Brilliant Stars booster box on last year $170, now $156. But the top 5 chase cards in Brilliant Stars add up to $250, with the top 2 chase cards being those Charizards. The Charizard V Full Art, $117, and the Charizard V-Star Secret Rare, that Rainbow Rare, at $58. But the top 5 add up to $250. Again, the purchase price of the booster box is $156. On a percentage basis, that gives Brilliant Stars 160%. The top 5 chase cards add up to 160% of the purchase price of the booster box. So you can see I'm ranking these percentages based on the total value of the chase card versus the booster box price. I hope you're sticking with me on the numbers. So that comes in at number 7, guys. We're going to get down to the top 6 now. I'll close these off. Silver Tempest is ranked number 6 out of 12 on my list as being good value for money. We're starting to get into some better value for money booster boxes now. This set is obviously a more recent set. I think it's the last regular set that was printed from the Sword and Shield era, and $126 for the booster box. This set's quite new, so it just hasn't had that time to really start ticking up in value. But the top 5 chase cards in Silver Tempest add up to $203. Now, compared to the purchase price of the booster box, it gives that a percentage of 203%. Again, I'm going to reiterate, that means if you pulled all top 5 chase cards out of a Silver Tempest booster box, that would add up to 203% of the purchase price of the booster box, meaning it's quite good value for money. Now, in a perfect world, we're going to pull all 5 chase cards from every booster box we're open, but the truth is, you'll be lucky to pull 1 big hit or 2 big hits from a booster box. But we're looking for hidden value within inside of each booster box set. Okay, so 203%. That's ranked at number what did I say? Number 6, Silver Tempest. And here's the top 5 chase cards from Silver Tempest. That Lugia V Full Art being $125. And I really love this card. I'm dying to get my hands on this Lugia. I think it's an awesome card. And I like Silver Tempest. I think it's a great set. But number 6 on my list. Top 5 chase cards again add up to $203, making this set basically 203% of the purchase price. As I said, time to close this off. Battle Styles, can you believe it? No one really got too serious about Battle Styles. It was kind of a set that was seen as one of the cheaper, less popular sets. But Battle Styles, the booster box is only $105. The top 5 chase cards in Battle Styles add up to $214. Now, there's not a heap of chase cards. It hasn't got as much depth as some of the next sets I'm going to go through, but the booster box is only $105. The chase cards, what did I say, $214, making this set 209% value. The top 5 chase cards add up to 209% of the purchase price of the booster box. Again, that's good value for money relative to the booster box price, okay? I'm guessing you're starting to understand how I've done this, how I've worked out this formula. There's a lot of videos where they do top 10, top 12 booster boxes, you know, and they always put Evolving Skies and Chilling Reign at the top, which I can see why. They're great performers, got lots of depth. The way I've done this video, as I keep explaining, is the top 5 chase cards relative to the booster box price. Battle Stars, number 5, so far as value for money on my list. You're welcome to disagree all day long. This is what I look for when I'm collecting and when I'm investing as well. Is I want to know how much value is within inside these things, because I believe over time that's what's really going to push the prices. I might be wrong. Let's revisit in 12 months and see how these top 5 did. Evolving Skies, number 4 on my list. Not even number 3, not even number 2. Number 4, Evolving Skies. How is that possible? Well, the booster box price has already seen insane growth, right? So if the booster box price was a little bit cheaper, it might be number 1 on my list. Evolving Skies booster box, $539. These are all American prices. Ranked number 4 on my list of good value for money, best value for money. The top 5 chase cards, by the way, add up to $1,238, shooting the lights out of any of these top 5 chase cards. Obviously, my personal opinion is Evolving Skies is the best set. But if that booster box price was a bit cheaper, it would be number 1. It's not number 1, it's number 4 on my list. Ranking at 234% of the value of the purchase price of the booster box. The top 5 chase cards work out at 234% of the price of the booster box. Getting into the top 3 now. Chilling Reign. You're probably thinking this might be number 1, right? On my list. It's a very good set also, and a lot of people would say this is second best to Evolving Skies and ready to shoot the lights out as well. $173 for the booster box. It's done quite well over the last 3 months and 6 months, going from 143 to 173 in 6 months time, right? But let's again look at the top 5 chase cards, guys, in Chilling Reign. Add up to $463, which is 267% of the purchase price of the booster box, making Chilling Reign number 3 on my list of best value for money. What's going to be second best value for money on my list? What do you think? Fusion Strike. Surprised? I was. I know it's a good set, but I was surprised that, you know, value for money wise, based on the purchase price of the booster box, $165 to purchase the Fusion Strike booster box. The top 5 chase cards add up to $441 in Fusion Strike. I didn't think it was that high. Here they are here, the top 5 chase cards for Fusion Strike. That Gengar, $204 now, raw. And the Espeon VMAX, $122. So the top 5 chase cards really strong in Fusion Strike. $444 of value, $441 of value, same. Meaning that the top 5 chase cards in Fusion Strike add up to 270% of the purchase price of the booster box. What's number 1, guys? What does that leave? What have we missed? Number 1, best value for money booster box from Sword and Shield. Here we go. Lost Origin. When I did the numbers, I really thought Evolving Skies was going to be number 1, Chilling Reign was going to be number 2, Fusion Strike was maybe going to be number 3 or 4. I knew Lost Origin would probably be in the top 5, but I didn't think it was going to be number 1. Let me explain. Lost Origin booster box, $145. The top 5 chase cards in Lost Origin, with that Giratina at $266, followed by the Aerodactyl at $86. The top 5 chase cards in Lost Origin. It's late, I'm tired, forgive me. Lost Origin, $424, meaning that the top 5 chase cards in Lost Origin work out at 292% of the purchase price of the booster box, meaning you get a lot of value for money with Lost Origin. Guys, get out there, pick up Lost Origin, pick up Fusion Strike, pick up Battle Stars. Chilling Reign's already started to take off. Evolving Skies has already had lots of capital growth. I think still pick up those 2 as well. But Fusion Strike, Lost Origin, Battle Stars, really cheap. Lots of gems inside those sets. So there's my top 12 value for money booster boxes from the Sword and Shield era. I know I'm going to get haters in the comments disagreeing and saying the way I've worked it out is wrong and you can't do it like this, and print runs and supply and demand and all this. I'm putting a different spin on it, guys. Challenge me in the comments. Let's come back in 12 months and see if Battlestars, Fusion Strike and Lost Origin really did get lots of capital growth based on the value within the chase cards. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I do read the comments. I do appreciate the feedback. Thanks for watching the chase card. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.